Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. This past week I went up to Asheville, North Carolina and took a trip digging. I hit almost every record store, I think. I hit a bunch of them and bought something almost everywhere. So I'm going to show you guys what I got, where I went, what I thought of each place, and a little more details here and there. Before we get started, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment, love hearing from you guys, and follow us on Instagram. We have a record store in Matthews, North Carolina called Noble Records, where we buy big collections, recommend records, things of that nature. Would love to keep tabs on y'all. Follow us there as well, and don't be a stranger. Awesome. So the reason I was in Asheville actually was there was a concert that I wanted to go to. Now, I haven't been to a concert in like 12 years. I just don't like concerts that much. I went a lot when I was a kid, when I was in, teens and college, early college. I went to every show that was around. I went to probably 1,000 shows. And then as I've gotten old, I have not. I just don't like it that much anymore. Especially like the big shows where you're in the nosebleeds and stuff, and I'm not paying like $1,500 to get down front. So, but this band I'm really stoked about. So there's a band called Witch. That's an acronym for We Intend to Cause Havoc. Zamrock band. They're probably the most well-known Zamrock band. And the leader of the band, Jagari, is still touring. Him and the keyboard player. There's two different phases of Witch. The second phase was like a disco phase. And the keyboard player in that phase of Witch and the lead singer of the early phase of Witch got together with some other musicians, and they're touring around and stuff like that. It's really cool. I like their music, means so much to me. I've listened to them for a long time. Never thought it would be something I would ever be able to see live. So being able to go to that concert just blew my mind. It was phenomenal. But I also got Jaggery to sign I have a bunch of original Witch albums, but this is the ones I wanted him to sign. He designed the artwork on this album cover, which he told me all about when I met him. And then this was their first record they ever put out, only 300 copies. It was a kind of a private press deal before they ever did it with any sort of label or anything. And then this is the second iteration of that cover. And so he kind of drew an arrow to himself and autographed it. So pretty cool. I know that it's hard to find really clean copies, so some friends of mine that have original Witch albums, they're like, I don't know if I should get them to sign them because they're so nice. But for me, I was like, it's just, I'm not going to sell these. They mean so much to me. So I think I would rather have them with his autograph on it. It's not going to hurt the value. So anyway, so I went to that concert. Amazing. My cousin, who I grew up with, his name's Colby. He was like a brother to me growing up. I didn't have a brother, so he was a close thing to it. We were inseparable. Probably the best friend I've ever had in my life other than my wife. But I don't get to see him very much now. He lives up there in Asheville. Asheville's about 2.5 hours from me, so we don't see each other that much. He's really busy. He owns his own business. I'm really busy. I own my own business, so we don't ever get to see each other. But he came to the concert with me, which was a blast. It was great, and he didn't know anything about. He'd never heard of him. He didn't know anything about him, and but he still really enjoyed it because it was one of those things that anybody who would have gone would have loved it. It was freaking phenomenal. If they come anywhere near you, you need to go there. Also, after the show, I was so thrilled. Big shout out to JJ Whitefield. He's a guitar player. He plays for them, and he plays for Embryo and a bunch of other bands. He's a really cool dude, and he messaged me on Instagram. He's like, hey, if you want to come to the show, I'll put you on the list. You can get in for free. So he got me in, and he was really nice. It was really nice to meet him. He's a record collector, really cool dude, from Germany, actually. And I got to hang out backstage with Witch. We hung out and talked shop. We talked about Zamrock for a little bit. Didn't want to bother him too much, but we did get to hang out. And Jaggery was really nice, and he just kept giving me stuff. He gave me this really cool, just gave me his bracelet. It just says Witch on it. It's kind of a beaded bracelet, Anyways, I've been talking to, there's a new shop in Asheville, so I'll just go through all the shops. So I went to 5 or 6 shops, and then I went on a dig at a guy's house. So I'm going to show you everything I found. I found a lot of really killer stuff. There's a new shop in town called Earth River Records. And actually, there was a record on Discogs that I really wanted that this guy was selling. And I noticed he was in Asheville, and I was like, "Hey, you're in Asheville. I come up there sometimes, which I haven't been up there in a while, but I come up there sometimes. You know, do you have anything else like that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got a ton of stuff. I own a record store here." So I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's called Earth River Records. Never heard of it. Didn't know. They've been open for a year." So I haven't been to Asheville since before COVID. So it was really cool to get a chance to go up there. But he was like, "Yeah, come by the shop. I'll pull some things for you, and we'll make some deals." So this was the one that I was most interested in. This is Sharky Signposts. This is a really cool, like, folky record, like acid folk type of record. What drew me to it was obviously the cover. That artwork is really killer, but it's just a really hard one to find, and we kind of been haggling over it and came to an agreement. So I was like, I'll at least come pick that record up, and we'll see what else you got. But he had a really cool shop. This is another one he had on the wall that's been on my radar. I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I'd heard of it, and the cover is awesome. So this was Wilburn Burchett, Seven Gates of Transcendental Consciousness. This is a little bit of a psychedelic record, but it's not too far out there. It comes with this booklet here. So let's see, I can look like I'm cross-eyed here. But this guy, William Burchett, he is the composer. He's 32 years old, accomplished composer, musician, and teacher. So he was the master of transcendental consciousness. So you got the different gates and stuff. So he would run like ads and stuff in the back of magazines, like successful magazines like Forbes and stuff like that. And it would advertise like him being a guide for parapsychological, transcendental meditation, things like that. So it came with this booklet, and it's just like real, really cool psychedelic guitar. It's really cool. It's really mellow record, really soothing. But it is like, it's not like really like finger picking, like soft. It's like, it's psychedelic. You know what I mean? I could definitely see you taking a trip with that bad boy. So it had been on the wall for a while, so he made a good deal for me, and I just when in Asheville, you know, you find stuff like this. If you're not from North Carolina, Asheville, you know, Charlotte's more like of a business oriented thing. There's some cool arts and stuff in Charlotte, but Asheville's like all arts, all hippies. So you find a lot of things like that in Asheville, like you probably wouldn't find that much of here. This is Horace Silver, 6 Pieces of Silver. I've talked to you guys about how much I'm trying to get all the Blue Notes. This is an early Blue Note, like a second press. It is a second press. It's a deep groove. The only difference between the first and second press is the address right here on the back. The labels and everything are the exact same. So we got this for a really good price. It's in a really good shape. This is an original OG mono, deep groove. First press of, let's see, let me pull that off. First press of Lou Donaldson. The Time Is Right. Got a good price on this thing. Kind of a bundle deal situation, but this is a fantastic record. Love Lou Donaldson. I don't see this one very often, so was thrilled to get that. Let's see if I got any other jazzers. A few more. I bought a lot of jazz records. That's kind of crazy. This is a 58 mono of Miles Davis Cookin'. Really great record. Really nice condition. Thrilled to get that one. And then this is a 66 press of Pithecanthropus erectus, Charlie Mingus. So that's a cool one as well. And then this one was on the wall. This is one I've been wanting for a really long time. This is a promo of Graham Parsons' GP. Graham Parsons is one of my absolute favorites. And I collect promos. This is a really, really clean copy, and it's a promo. So but I have an original, you know, it's like in the shrink, perfect shape, but I didn't have a promo. So that's, you know, the nature of my brain as a collector. All right, so, but the guy that ran it was just such a sweet person, really nice fella. And he had a lot of really good stuff. It was a unique shop. If you're in the area, you should go. He had like a lot of metal. His dad owned a record store like in the 70s and 80s, I think, maybe just 80s. And so he had a lot of like promotional posters and things like that for sale. He had a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of like dead stock sealed imports and stuff like that. He had a lot of cool stuff. It's worth checking out. It's like I said, some shops you walk in and it's like, whatever. It's just like every other shop. It's not, But there, it was a unique shop. It was very, very worthwhile and going. It was very cool. So, anyways, that was cool. And then from there, I was gonna hit a bunch of other shops, but I spent a lot of my time and money there, so I didn't get to. So before that, I went and dug at this guy's house, which I'll show you that stuff later. And then after this, I went to the concert. And then the next day, I went to the rest of the shops. So, went to Harvest, which Harvest is I mean, if you're in Asheville, you got to go to Harvest. You can't miss it. It's an incredible shop. Really, one of the best record stores in the state for sure, if not country. Every time I go there, they have really good prices, and I have to resist buying stuff to put in my store because they have like those prices are so low. It's crazy. Like I know they had a original Grateful Dead Skull and Roses for $20, which goes for more than that normally. So and I struggle to keep Grateful Dead in the store. So I was like, man, but I was like, you know what? People probably want it here. I'm not going to buy it and flip it. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to dig for my owns. So I got some really cool stuff. So this is, to keep in the theme of Asheville weirdness, this is Gwendian. I guess his name is Gwendian. It's Gwendian Sings Songs for the Old Religion. So this is a really weird, really cool hippie. This guy was a certified witch. So these are like weird, like acid folk songs. It's just kind of out there stuff. You can see these guys on the back cover. It looks like they really know how to party. So it's just like folk acoustic type stuff, but really beautiful, like acid folk. It's got some of them are his vocals, some of them are this lady here on the back cover who's playing the dulcimer. She sings a little bit. So it's a really cool folky record. I've been wanting it for a long time. Haven't come across one in the wild. So to see one there, I was like, I got to get that. This is Jesse Davis, and this is a promo, white label promo copy of this, really clean. I've got a copy of this already, but I didn't have a white label promo, so kind of replacing it. But Jesse Davis, just incredible guitar. Also has guitars from Eric Clapton on here, so really great record. Jesse Davis, if you don't know him, Jesse/Ed Davis, phenomenal guitar player. He was pretty cool. This one is an original press back in '72 by Bob Seger. This one is a really, really nice copy. I've had a couple copies this year that I've come across, but they've been kind of rough. This one is really nice, so I decided I need to get that. And then this one, Eddie Henderson Realization. I had this, but I didn't have the promo. And it's really clean, really good price. And it was in the shrink and all that stuff, so it checked all my boxes, so I needed to get it. But really good, like a little bit farther out, jazz funky type stuff. But this is a great record. This one is a Folkways that I did not have. These are cool because they come in like a double pouch. So one pouch will have a booklet. So this is Furry Lewis. It's like some country blues type stuff. Like if you like Lightning Hopkins, you'd probably like this. But it comes with this little booklet. Just kind of about the author and songs and things like that. Information. I'll show you kind of if you've never had a Folkways record. There's two pouches. One pouch is for the book, and the other pouch is for the record. So it's kind of cool. It has like a divider in there. But yeah, really cool Folkways blues record I didn't have. So I was like, yeah, I collect Folkways stuff, but I'm getting so much of it, and like so much of it I would literally never listen to. I do it for educational purposes, But there's a lot of it that I would just never want to listen to, like bird calls and stuff like that. So, whatever. But anyways, and also at Harvest, they gave me this mug. Super sweet. Look at that, man. And it's a big one, too. It's like a 15-ounce mug. Very cool stuff. So, and then when I was there, he was like, you got to check out Records in the Rad. It's right down the road. RAD stands for River Arts District. So, Records in the Rad is what that means. But that's a new shop. They opened in April, so they've been open for like 6 months or so. But yeah, really, really cool shop. The guy's name that ran it was named Dylan, which is also my name. So we met. I introduced myself to him, and he was a really, really nice dude. And he had some cool ones. So this one is, speaking of the tempos, this is, I think it's probably a bootleg, honestly. You know me, I collect the Justice record label. It's a North Carolina garage, psych garage, like early, mid 60s. Like a lot of garage bands, like small time high school, garage bands, young kids normally. And I think they did like 27 records, and I have probably 10 of them. This is one of them, so this is a reissue of it, but I just wanted to get it to hear it. This is a 2007 reissue of it. It was $12, so I grabbed it, But the originals of this go for like a lot. This is one of the more valuable ones and harder ones to find. But yeah, so I was thrilled to see that. Then, trying to beef up my punk collection. This is an original 93 press of all Breaking Things. All, is the second iteration of the Descendants. So that one I used to have back in the day, and something happened to it. I guess I sold it at some point. This one is Chris Isaak, Heart Shaped World. Really lately been digging this record. I got they reissued it this year, the Record Store Day Essentials reissue or whatever. I got that, but kind of been wanting an original. I hadn't seen one in a while. This one was up there on the wall, so I grabbed it off. But super nice guy. Had a blast talking to him. At this point, I was kind of behind on time. I was running late, needed to get back to the house. Had some other things going on that evening, so the other few stores I really ran in really quick. So I went in Citizen Vinyl. So I've never been in Citizen Vinyl before, but it was really crazy in there. It was amazing. Walked in, you walk in the door, and it used to be an old newspaper factory facility, whatever. Basically, they had the whole ground floor that has the record store and stuff in it now. There were reporters in there, and then they had like a recording studio. It was a radio station as well, so they had like a DJ booth upstairs, and then they have a record pressing plant. They got 3 record presses in there, but that's where they used to print the newspapers. So really cool. The guy that runs the place, he was really nice. They gave me a tour. His wife gave me a tour of the whole place. Really nice people, but it was really cool to see, man. They were doing some cool stuff. They said they produce anywhere between 45,000 and 60,000 records a month. So that's wild. That's like 2,000 records a day. But they were in there cranking them out, man. It was really cool to see. Yeah, it was cool. So there's some pictures of it and all that stuff. It was a really cool place. If you're in Asheville, if you are visiting or wherever, that's one place that's really cool to see, because you can just watch them, and there's a glass, you can see them making the records. And they have like a diner in there and like a bunch of other stuff, but they have used and new records as well. Really, really cool. So then from there I went to Static Age Records, which I haven't been to in a long time, but they're a cool little record shop downtown. They have a bar in there, and they do shows in there. Pretty cool. But they had this on the wall. This is Giant Steps. Jesper Celia. It's a really cool Zamrock record. This is one of the only originals I don't have. This is not original. This is the 2018 Shadokes reissue. It's got a CD in there too. But it has Paul Ngozi, Chris Timbo playing on there. But just a really good Zamrock record that I don't have an original of. And I try to get the reissues of all the Zamrock stuff. This one is supposed to sound pretty good, just because the originals, they never sound good. They're just cool to have because they're originals. So anyway, so that was cool, Static Age. And then I did run into Voltage Records too, which is like a stone's throw from there. You can literally walk to it. And I was just in such a hurry, I didn't have time to pick anything up. I was basically just peeking in there to look at the wall. But that's one I've gone to for the past probably 15 years. It's a pretty cool shop. So anyways, so that was the last of my record store digging. But the first thing I did when I got there was I went to this guy's house. Really nice gentleman. I met him in, I think we decided it was 2012 because we were talking. And the last time I saw him was probably 5 years ago. So periodically when I'm up in Asheville, I'll take a peek at what he's got and grab some stuff. And he's always had the same stuff, and he lets me come dig through it. And I've bought almost everything. This time I almost just made him an offer on everything and took it all home, but there's not a whole lot left. But in the early days, man, I got some crazy stuff from him. I got some like original Tool stuff. he had a bunch of original Guns N' Roses stuff back then. He had, trying to think, all kinds of stuff, Japanese pressings. He worked at a high-end audio shop, and so he got all the imports in. He would buy a bunch of imports and to test them out on the gear and stuff. So he had a lot of like 90s stuff back then. And so I haven't been there in 5 years, so I was like, there might be some stuff that I kind of overlooked last time that I didn't think too much about that I might grab. So this is some stuff that I got from him. This is one, the main one that I'm pretty excited about is this. This is Appetite for Destruction. Original cover with the band, and it's sealed. The band cover, and it's still sealed. He had 2 of these. Last time I was there, I bought one from him, and I think I sold it to a friend because I thought I still had it, and I was like, I'm not sure. So anyways, this one is still sealed, and I'm not a sealed record person. I usually don't keep them sealed, but this one I'm going to keep sealed because I have another copy that I can listen to that sounds great, and this is one of those things that it's amazing to have a seal. This is nuts. When I tell you, I do not have one single sealed record in my collection. I don't keep sealed records. I don't care. But that is basically just for the cover, for the collector side of it. So I'm going to keep that one sealed. So don't at me. I got a bunch of other really cool stuff, just weird. Some of it's off the wall. Some of it I may not show you. But something else I'm really excited that I got from him is, let me dig through. I got a bunch of the. This is a really rare one. It's called Dusk. This is 92. Really tough to get, but I've not always been into the. Mainly because it's weird to say, but this is Mind Bomb. But I listened to it a few years ago, and it wasn't really my thing, and I was like, I might revisit it later. This is like an alternate UK cover of Infected. But I've been listening to him a little bit lately because I remembered he had some, and I was like, I do like that. I'm gonna get it, and not to mention this. This Dusk one is really hard to find. I don't think I've ever seen another copy of it, so that's pretty cool. I got a bunch of Paul Weller stuff from the Jam. Kind of hard to get some of this stuff. Let me see. There's another one in here. This one, Heavy Soul, and then this one. I believe this is a comp. But I'm going to listen to all this stuff. It was there, and so I bought it. That one as well. I've got this Annie Lennox Diva. It's just kind of a hard record to get. It's a 90s one, But there's a bunch of, he had a bunch of 45s as well. He did like some mixing and stuff in the Detroit punk scene. So he had a few, Condition, Response. Let's see. Cadillac Kids. This is one called Sly Dog. I don't know anything about it, but it kind of looked cool. And then, just a bunch of white label promo stuff. Anyways, but I got a whole box of 45s from him that looked pretty cool. So, anyways, had a great time in Asheville. The shops were really great. Everybody was really nice. I haven't been out and about in record stores in a long time. So, it was nice to go into some record stores and just be a shopper rather than the person that's behind the counter. That's really fun. So, anyways, and when we were at the Witch Show, I saw a bunch of people that knew me from YouTube and came to say hey, and that was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So thank y'all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram. And come to the store. Have a chat with me. Would love to meet you in real life. See you guys next time.